All right, welcome to the world of Nioh. So I just completed Nioh 2. These games have been sitting in my backlog for a hot grip. still waiting for Ghost of Yote to kind of drop in sale prices because I know like PlayStation's really fast about dropping sales, especially during the holiday period. So once that happens, that might be the next big series that I run at some point. For now, I kind of just jumped off the Lords of the Fallen and stuff like that. Kind of just replayed it a little too much and just getting kind of burnt out from it. But Nioh, this game I played about, let's see, the last save data I had was in 2023. So I ran a basic like sword and spear build. I don't really think I understood the game that well back then though, so now that I kind of went through Nioh 2 and I really like hammered in on how I kind of do my stats and stuff, I feel a little bit more confident going into this one. I did beat this game, but it was like a grind. It was really one of those things that was like, holy shit, this game is really hard. And I'm sure it's going to be hard again, being that this is like the PS4 version. I don't think they ever did make a PS5 version, so we're just going to have to deal with that as it goes. It doesn't really look too bad, though, and it doesn't play bad at all. I mean, they both kind of are similar in a way. I just think that the PS5 version for Nioh 2 definitely looks a lot cleaner, plays a lot more smoother, and the load times are pretty much non-existent. Like, every time I died, I was kind of like back in the action, so we're just going to go with it. I don't think we need to beat a dead horse. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and all over the world of people playing these games. This is just for me and my sake, so I can just kind of say I did it for the channel and call it a day.
It seems death won't stop chasing me.
Run when I had the chance.
Oh, honestly, it doesn't really look that bad at all. Like, it's a little bit more grainier, I guess, but what to expect, right?
Hey, what are you doing?
I like how William already kind of runs like he's got a scabbard on his side. So they got the animations kind of going already with his samurai ways. I don't really like the intro area. I think I wish you could skip this part, but I get why they need to do it. But, you just, because you lose every single thing that you gain from this part, so it's better just to kind of run away and not even deal with the stuff. I don't even think like the levels factor in. I could be wrong though. It's been a while, but I don't think the levels factor into this once you like actually go out to the real game. Come on, but oh, good poke, dude. God, it feels so weird not having flux and being able to switch to high stance and low stance, and oh my gosh. This is why I don't like the tutorial, because it doesn't really like show you the full game. It just kind of like, oh yeah, just swing your sword around and you'll be fine. Playing. Damn, that one large poke is kind of connecting a little much more. Definitely not using the battle axe, not in this run. So I guess build-wise, it's going to be a ninjutsu. I've not done ninjutsu in this game. Literally, the only run I've ever did was that sword and spear build. So it was more tailored towards, I think, body, heart, stamina. I think that those were like my key stats that I had to really level up. A little bit of strength here and there for probably gear. So what I'm thinking is that I might need body, skill, and dex for this kind of run, and then obviously spirit. Spirit's only good for your living weapon and your guardian spirit and stuff like that for their abilities. That's what I kind of remember about Nioh 1. Maybe I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll kind of check that once we come through it. Okay, so the spear is okay. I like my sword.
Limited amount of Amrita we can extract from this country, Kenny.
Indeed, the pirates have served their purpose.
The death of the leader of Japan will spark a war, and a wonderful opportunity to acquire more Amrita.
Once tomorrow's execution takes place, we will get our hands on a compass that will lead us to that Amrita.
With enough Amrita, we could subdue Spain perhaps even the world.
The day when England reigns supreme is near.
But our beloved queen thinks of Amrita as nothing more than gold or gemstones.
We must find them before our nation's rivals do.
Edward Kelly, you will go to Japan. It seems it would be to our advantage to keep the wars alive. We cannot gain Amrita if blood does not flow. Hey! Who are you?
Such noise.
It's always a funny one to me. It's like, damn, dude, you could have just popped out and eliminated the whole problem. You just kind of poked your head out the door. But, you know. Plot armor, baby. Firearm damage. I don't really get... You're not supposed to get shot in this game. Yeah, but Kusarigama and dual swords, I think that's kind of where my heart's going towards in this run. So we'll give that a go. If I was more of like a heavy boy build, then I would definitely be doing the battle axe. I'm trying to think of the other weapons that come in this game. I just played all of Nioh 2, like for the last 3 weeks, and I can't remember a single damn heavy weapon other than the battle axe. And there's another one. There's like that giant glaive, but I don't think the glaive is in this game. I could be wrong. But that's more Omnio magic stuff. So I was like, do I want to do an Omnio build or do I want to do a ninja build? And I kind of lead more into ninja because I am kind of like coinciding a Ninja Gaiden 4 playthrough that I'm doing on the Xbox just because it's on Game Pass, so I'm kind of in that ninja spirit. I don't even know why I'm picking that crap up. In fact, I'm not even going to use it anyway. Yep. Shortcut route. Let's keep on going. This is going to be like 99% of my Nioh playthrough is going to be getting lost, because I remember the dungeons and the bigger missions were, holy crap, they were something else. I love this game, I love this world, it's so good, and I guess what I'm doing is so I'm just really glad that I was able to finally finish Nioh 2, because that's been in my backlog for a long time. And it was not easy to accomplish, but we got it done. Every opportunity you get, you want to get behind these guys. The humanoid enemies are pretty easy to do it against, but the yokai are definitely not. Certain yokai, I should say. Other yokai are kind of stupid and allow themselves to get back attacked quite frequently. Oh, that one has dash endurance. I like that. I like that it says parry, but you can't parry yet because you don't have your skills set up. Stones are awful in Nioh and Nioh 2. They don't really act like stones in other games where you kind of like try to pick them off, like just say Elden Ring or something, and you're trying to like get one group of enemy all at once, or single battles and all that. As soon as you throw a rock at somebody, the entire group is alerted, and then you just have dudes pouring on you. So they're not even worth setting up in your inventory. Not sure why that was a design choice, but we'll take it, I guess. And this is like a little bit of a tough battle right here with two dudes, two knights. You can kind of get their gear and go from there. Walk silently on these guys. Can't backstab just yet because we don't have that ability. I just want to be very quick and assertive in your movements. It's kind of how you deal with enemies in Nioh.
Looks like I might be able to escape from the top of that tower. How can I get up there?
So there's like a lot of stuff.
Using monsters like that to fight wars. Guess they got no more use for us. His body just split in two. Oh God! He wanted to kill me from the start. Striking when the opponent is down and helpless. That's what they're trying to do to all of us who fought for Queen and country.
I guess it was important to come down here to learn how to do that, at least for the tutorial section. But in the main game, you're going to be doing that no matter what, so. Alright, so we got a knight dude over there. I guess I don't really want to do this, but pray here. And these assholes right here, you can kind of take them on. Really, it's just like two swipes and then get out of there. Even if you whiff, don't just go after it, because these guys are really strong. Then just kind of keep circling around, pull the same moves. Go. Yep. Hate when they get the upper hand like that. It's really that guy. That guy is kind of cheap. Yeah, you increase your defense doing this, but you also gain a whole bunch of weight. Ideally, I'm not trying to do that in this run because I need to learn how to play with a much more varied dodge heavy build, because that's exactly what ninjutsu is. It's like I'm gonna wear really light armor and I'm gonna get really like one-shot tapped most of the time, but I have to really focus in on dodging very well, probably a little bit more Harry style gameplay. If I don't really know like Kusari Ugama's like movesets yet. I've never experimented with that weapon before, so hopefully they have some good stuff. If they have like good counterattacks and whatnot, that'll be really cool. But I really just need to watch out for openings and stuff like that. Like, this dodge can get me through a whole lot. Woo! We both took swipes at each other and he should have got. Let's take care of this guy. So they're not really too bad all on themselves, you know. Got another dual pair here? Jesus. Woohoo! Wow, fucker, man. Come on, dude. Holy shit. And if you're pretty new to Nioh, this is basically what this game is. It's a giant, like, very loot heavy game. Borderlands style, basically, right? You know, Diablo, whatever you want to throw it onto, but it does have like a loot based system. The game is in that regard, that's how they kind of plus up like their hours played, is basically just making you grind around for you know, certain equipment and stuff like that, especially when it's tailored to your own type of builds. So in like, just say like we're in a mission. Oh, see, a great helm. Yeah, they're just giving you a bunch of heavy armor in case you're like dying a lot or whatever. But you know, just say that you're I don't know what I'm talking about now. All gone and over with. No, okay, so like in my instance, just say like we're doing a ninja build, and we come across a couple enemies. Certain enemies in the game will drop like smithing text and stuff like that, that will allow you to craft your own armor and stuff. Basically, the whole gist of Nioh is to stay as updated on gear as possible so that your survivability in missions goes, you know, pretty high. There's multiple ways in this game that you can do that. You can fight people called revenants, so basically like real life players who died in the game, and their equipment will be pretty much up for grabs. All you do is that you just kind of find like red sword and the ground type things, and you just kind of initiate a battle. They'll fight you or whatever, you know, they have the ability to kill you, but they're like AI controlled opponents, so you just kind of do battle. The gear is randomized as soon as you kill them, but you basically want to fight the same type of like build that you're going for in your own game. So like if I'm a Kusarigama build, which I'm going to be in the end, like I want to fight primarily mostly all of the Kusarigama guys, right? But don't limit yourself to just doing that. Like if you fight other builds, you might be able to pull some different armors, because people mix and match things all the time just to kind of have creativity, which is what I really love about, you know, any of these like Souls titles, right? In any of these action JRPG games, it's just always phenomenal to see what people can put together. So don't limit yourself to just what you are. Just keep on going and fight everything basically as much as you can. You don't want to make a habit of doing it too much in levels, because there could be a stretch where you don't get like a shrine for a hot minute, and you don't want to like fight a revenant, die to a revenant, and then redo an entire section of the game where every enemy respawns. So just one of those things. But definitely when you get partner AIs, you do want to fight a fuck ton of revenants, because I think having partner help in this game, especially in Nioh 2, is tremendously helpful, because the AI will just pull aggro, and then you're able just to kind of do back attack sneaks, and you know, you're really not the front face of getting hit anymore, basically. At least that's how I would play it, so. And that is how exactly I'm going to play it. Because that's the safest way to show it. This guy might turn around. Yeah, but I say other than that, really what it boils down to, Nioh, is staying on top of your key management. So your key is your stamina, right? Key meaning energy. That green bar underneath, it'll get depleted real quickly. You'll do everything with it, right? Run, attack, heavy attack, blocking takes it away. But as soon as you, like, if you get clipped and you lose all of your stamina at once, you're pretty much dead in this game. Like, that's the one way, the easiest way to get killed is to lose your, to lose all your ki in a battle. Now, there could be moments where you do survive, luckily enough. But it's far and few between that you most likely will not survive an attack once you're kind of breathing for air and stuff like that. Yeah, so basically if I didn't kill that guy, then that would have been the plunging attack tutorial, which is going to be very primary in the way that we play our ninja guy. Okay, let's see here. So where are we at? Now we're on the boss. Basically just, you know, stay light armor, stay heavy armor, whatever you got to do to survive this. The game is very simple, just like Dark Souls and everything else that we've shown on this channel before. It's literally just reading movesets, dodging, taking a few swipes at the enemy, and then getting away from it. That's it. If you get greedy in this game or you run out of ki, you're done. Like, that's just how you lose at Nioh, basically. Yep, just like that. Just not really needing to kind of rush in on that attack right there. As soon as they block you, just get away. It's not even worth trying to get in extra hits. So let him do that, then he's going to charge. And luckily enough, we only got to get him down to a percentage on this part, and then we get a cutscene kill, basically.
The man with the guardian spirit.
If I die, the secret of the stones dies with me.
Let me show you what these stones can do. Behold.
It's time for your execution.
Oi.
Well done. Quite a feat.
So, this spirit shall guide me to the kingdom of gold. Thorin! To me! Reinforcements!
They had rigged my bra anyway, so they were like,
Brian, it's like he's different.
The journey was not an enjoyable one. During 2 years' voyage, the Helloff was lost. The trow sank, while the hope vanished without a trace. The good news of the Blythe Boatshap was nothing but lies. Only Leifta remained. An ironic twist. For what awaited us in the Far East wasn't love. It was monsters and death.
Alright, before I begin my privileged landfall, I leave once more. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Precisely how this document wound up in the ship. Think whose device on would it? Nice. Alright, so let's take a real quick look here. Yep, exactly as I thought. So skill and dexterity are going to be my primary go-to stats in this game. Gonna have to probably pump some into heart, because I do think that one is primarily attached to your HP. Yeah, you don't want to neglect every single stat though. Like, you do want to go heavy in some areas because it just helps out with damage and survivability, but if you just start neglecting everything, because basically in Nioh you don't want to start maxing stats out until your New Game Plus runs, and when you're doing like the base run or whatever, the first run, you want to kind of take it like you would with any Souls, like I guess, and just hit those soft caps and hard caps and stuff like that. So with Nioh, it's really just kind of endless, but there is no limit for how much you need for survivability. So we'll go with Kusarigama. So this is going to be an exciting thing for me. I've never really played with this weapon. I've always been interested in it. Samurai is a master of any armor strengths. Okay. My secondary weapon is going to be the dual swords. It's another type of weapon that I did not use. Okay, so I think I had you my first run. You're definitely more magic. Daibo Washi, so you're skill. Okay, yeah, you're going to be the best one. So Dex and skill go up. Okay. But yes. If you're a first-time player, would recommend playing the tutorial? No. But if you are a first-time player, then yes, do that tutorial, because it's going to teach you everything you need to know about how to survive in Nioh. Yeah, it's going to be real, it's going to be time to learn a whole new moveset, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it's still a 4 swipes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it. What about the heavy attack? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1. Oh, hold on. I didn't see that. 1. I'm not being able to see that right now. Hold on. 1. So it's one long throw, I guess, right? So 1. So throw. Okay, so he's doing that back swipe on his own. I was thinking that he was doing that when another triangle press, but he's not. Yeah, he's just doing that. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. So single shot for the high move, and that just throws that, so that's good. Low stance. Okay, so that's gonna be kind of hard to deal with. So I don't know where the cutoff is. One, two, three. Okay. I guess I can kind of hear it starting to dissipate a little bit. Okay. That's pretty cool. I do like the moveset on Kisarigama. That's really nice. Alright. So let's check. Oops, I don't know if I have DLC. I think I do. I do. Okay. Alright. Affects poison and paralysis resistance. Heart affects our key. So you get 40, so you get life doing that. You get a little bit of life doing that. You get life and stamina as well. Okay. You get... So every stat really does kind of go into your life. Body is just the biggest one that gives you the most. So I kind of see how they do this then. That's cool. The beginning stats are always just so difficult to deal with. Oh, we'll go with stamina. I do want a little bit more plussed up on my weight carrying. Now, this armor isn't going to make sense for us. What's this? Yeah. That stuff's just too heavy. Because I'll go from like this really big roll, and then as soon as I put on yeah, I can't even put it all on. That's the problem. Well, now you're just heavy. Make it again. Now, let's see here. So, there's a way to tell your agility. Okay, so you want to keep your agility in the A or the B. So if I put this on, does that put me in? Still keeps me in that. Nice. Now this will probably put me into B. Alright, so there's a few settings we actually want to do as well here. So basic game settings, subtitles, damage. Display headgear. I'm going to turn that off. I don't really like the headgear. Lock marker, that. Display. Key display. Status. Color pattern. Shoulder belt on. Display. So Nioh 2 actually has like where you're able to use like locks of hair automatically. I don't think they put that in here. It's not looking like it. So I got to remember to do that again because I got used to not doing that in the other game. But let's just check real quick. I did have all of this stuff set to a certain thing. I remember watching a video on like the settings that you kind of want it on. Make your experience a little bit more streamlined, but it's okay. I think for the most part though, like when it comes down to having a re-inventory, I'll probably do that shit off screen because I know that's not really fun to watch. but sometimes it can't be helped because I'll go through a bunch of different missions. As far as like, I want to showcase as much as Nioh as possible, but some of the side missions are just not like good. You know, yeah, if you run off the edge, you just die. Some of them are like just straight up like battle engagements, and you just have to like survive hordes and hordes of enemies. Others are like fighting a boss that you did during the story, but a little bit more souped up version of them, and it kind of sucks. And then there's just some like one-off like go find a mirror or go find a certain accessory, or you know what I mean. It's like a hide and go seek type thing. So it's Nioh's side missions are varied for sure. Oh, I don't have to learn that yet. I have not learned that yet. Alright, foot soldiers. Now the thing is that you kind of need armor, but I guess until I really start to hurt, then I'll start prioritizing. But Nioh is about patience anyway, so you shouldn't be like rushing around trying to get yourself murked out the gate. This guy's got an axe, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really want to. Just kind of explore around, check everything. Oh yay. Alright, so going around Nioh, you're going to find little green dudes. They're actually very important to pick up. So they're called Kodama. You're just telling them to go back to the shrine so you can receive their blessings. They have like 4 different types of blessings that you get once you go back to the shrine. If there's like a little menu you can select. If you rescue enough of them, you know, their percentage of what they kind of give you as a boon will increase over time. So it's really important to understand like what Kodama can actually give you. I got 3 samurai skills, huh? I got I got some ninja skills. Okay. So I guess I spend these now or what? For the sword. Okay, I get it. So samurai skill points, those so what's gonna throw me off is that the samurai skill points were kind of separated in Nioh 2, but the samurai points can be used for pretty much every single weapon here. So obviously we want to split between the dual swords and the Kusarigama, but seeing that the Kusarigama is probably going to be my most like used weapon the entire game, we really do want to go after some of these, and these are really important too. Grapples an enemy who is at a key, then follows up with a powerful attack. So yeah, like grapple is just, it's his cornerstone of how you're gonna win this game. Slashes the enemy with Kusarigama's sickle. Press button repeatedly to vary technique while guarding. Okay, so let's watch this. How does this work? Oh, L1 and triangle for repeated slashes. That actually is pretty cool. Kicking the enemy. Bam. L1 square. So that could be a very good guard breaker. Changing into another stance successful. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, flux. High stance only activates when you recover. Raises the attack damage on your next attack when you recover full key from a key pulse. Only in high stance. Okay. High stance only. Mid stance only. Oh, these are all good ones. Enables you to you keep over the white dot. Okay. Right. Yep. Got you. Low stance only. Okay. You want flux. Like, get really good at doing flux moves because that is so good. Activates when you recover full key from keyholes. I would rather do them because I'm probably going to be in mid form mostly, and I kind of switch back and forth between mid and high. So ninja points. These are going to be the cornerstone of what we do here in this game. All right. Allows us already 7 shuriken. So shuriken is like your basic go-to. Gonna need them. And kunai, yep, gonna need them. So we already got our established ninja skills right there. I think the reason why they gave you those is because you already had level up points in probably skill or something like that. I'm not really sure. So they already kind of anticipated what build you're going for. But in that instance, let's go ahead and go to the shrine. So the enemies will reset, but now we can ready our jutsu. Alright. So receiving Kodama Blessing. Like I said, there's like, so through an entire zone or an entire region, there's going to be, was it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 total Kodamas that you have to find. And some of the main missions alone carry most of the Kodama. Like I have 1 out of 9 in this one. There's maybe some like side quests that might house a few of them, but they're mostly attached to the main quest missions. As you can see, this one, the only blessing I can receive right now is the armor dropping by 1%. So that's not a bad deal. But if you want to hold on to, your gold right now and then kind of go after something different, I think for the most part in this game, stocking up on elixirs is probably the most important thing you can do because there's just a lot of dying in this game, especially when it comes to the boss runs. And you just want to have more elixirs available at any time. It's okay to have like more Amrita, but as you approach endgame, I mean, you're really not going to need Amrita, and there's like thousands of ways to kind of meet level requirements. And when you fight Revenants, you get higher level gear anyway. So that's just another way to kind of play the game and kind of meet what you need to. So if there's like a recommended level of 100, but you're like sitting at 95, if you're battling like higher level Revenants and he drops like a level 111 sword, I mean, go for it. Your survivability is still there. You're still going to have to learn how to play the game and dodge and do all the right things. Just rely on your skill and stuff like that to basically win you over in Nioh games. So for now, we'll just accept this blessing. Gold is not really hard to come by, so just go ahead and spend that stuff. Because 1% more is 1% more. You can change your Guardian Spirit if you wish to. So this guy, let's see here. He Spirit required. So you wanna meet all of your requirements when it comes to whatever imbued Guardian Spirit that you have. So I'm not going to be able to get the bonuses right now because my Spirit is low. But once I hit 6 on Spirit required, I'm going to end up getting 8% more damage and quick attack. If I hit 8 in Spirit, I'll get plus 40 luck. If I hit 9, then I'm going to get the plus 400 whatever that is, scrolling still. Life, recovery, finished, using a living weapon. Okay. And then I don't know what 11 gives you. But basically, like, if you ever need help too, you just kind of hit the options, and then this will tell you everything you need to know about all these different stats and what they mean. So you're never lost in Nioh, you just have to do some reading. The spirit. And then we can go ahead and take a look now. So now with that, I have quick attack at 8% because I meet the, or I got this one, equipment rate drop at 20%. So it's the one on top of it that unlocks. So now I get more equipment drop rate, which is fantastic. Making offerings, if you want to make an offer, you can just kind of give away gear. It gives you some Amrita. So if you don't want to like break down your weapons, like at the blacksmith or whatever, you can just kind of sell it for level points. That stuff's only going to matter when you have high level gear and you don't really want to break it down anymore. But I break down everything because I think materials is more important. So yeah, that little icon with the sword that looks like it's on fire, that's me gaining the bonus for having a perfect key recovery on mid-form. Okay, so the same thing, you just want to draw these guys. The more you use a weapon, the more you get proficiency skills with it. So I earned a proficiency skill in Kusarigama. So now I can basically you just get more like samurai points and stuff like that. That's all that means. So now I can go ahead and select a different skill, whatever I choose to. Let's see here. Yeah, they're only going to allow me to do these ones where... So I'll go ahead and just do these ones since I'm going to be doing this a lot. Now, with Flux, how Flux works is basically just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then switch over to a high stance or low stance. Kind of swap between two different stances that your fingers can kind of deal with. Higher level players, you'll be able to kind of differentiate real quick. But when you do a Flux, you'll get like a large portion of your ki will actually come back instead of just kind of draining. So if we just do a regular ki pulse, right, it just kind of recovers back to that same zone that you were at. But if I'm going to do a Flux one and I switch, boom, it kind of jumped, you know, a few more points ahead, and that just gives you more like more room to do more attacks and stuff like that, especially on bigger like boss enemies or, you know, harder to deal with bigger guys or yokai and stuff. So you just want to keep the combat flowing. So you want to, I always switch between high and low because those are your two bigger damage stances, whereas like low stance kind of just keeps everything at bay. It's the lightest of using all of your ki, but you know, I rather just get the bigger damage. So I switch between, you know, I'm always holding R1 whenever I do a ki pulse, and then I just kind of go back to high, back to low, back to high, back to mid, back to high, back to mid. So just get in the habit of kind of doing that, and then you're just going to keep the flow going for yourself. Don't give me that, please. Thank you. Yeah, so this guy's like perfect. There you go. So yeah, Flux is very good, and it'll only get better when you keep on upgrading it. So then that should always drop your secondary weapon. So now we have the dual. I don't know if Flux carry. Okay, so Flux does carry over. Alright, good. Like, I guess some of these abilities actually carry over to other trees or something. I'm not really sure. Oh, okay. It's looking like it does. Let's go, baby. Okay. Yeah, pretty much whatever is your strongest weapon at any point, you know. So yokai close combat damage. So this weapon will be really good for fighting against yokai, you know. And that's basically how you're just trying to set yourself up. You're just trying to like have full coverage against every enemy in the game, the best of your ability. Once we start getting a little bit more in depth with blacksmithing and all that, then that's where the game really takes off in its whole like RPG element. So this guy has a spear, so he's not going to be worth fighting because I'm not a spear user. And honestly, this build will probably struggle against like long-range weapon kind of guys or whatever. Like they kind of poke at a distance. That's going to be a little bit of a tough battle right there. Katana, so that's just a regular sword there. That was a spear, right? It didn't show it, but yeah, it was a spear. And I mean, that's it. This is basically the Nioh experience. Like, you're just gonna dash around, you're gonna break stuff, you're gonna gain items and fight a bunch of enemies, survivability, manage your key, you're gonna get outnumbered at times, game's gonna get really frustrating, you're gonna have a lot of looping paths like this. You just be ready for everything, basically. So a guy like this, yep, just want to be... Anytime you can get them on the ground like that, that's what we're looking for. Okay. So you can look like a full-on foot soldier, just kind of keep on killing them and, you know, get their gear or whatever. Just depends on how much, like, what do you call it? How much defense you need. Okay, so this guy, this is an Odachi. We don't need that. And a hammer, so we're not getting the people we need right now. Yep, that was bound to happen. That's too many people to kind of take on all at once. Now, like any other Souls-like game, you die, you gotta go get your stuff back. If you die again, it goes to 0. Now, it's really up to you if you want to fight everything again, but if you feel like you can sneak past it all, it's probably better to do that. Just limits the need to like die or whatever. So those are your finishing blows right there. Once you get an enemy down, little red circle will pop over them. You want to hit triangle as fast as you can, and then you'll do like this big damaging move. Usually a one-hit finisher. See, what got me was I kind of highlighted myself there, and then every single one of them came after me. So those guys are just being like extra dumb. Most of the time you don't get stuff like that. Okay. So we kind of good right there. We don't really want to antagonize those two. You really just kind of like strategize your move here. You know, you don't want to just. I like how they tell you how to keep pulse after you've been running around this whole area, getting attacked. Alright, this place is treacherous as hell because you get a lot of bow guys here. Yeah, these guys are going to be real tough to see. So there are items in the game that will give you like special abilities and stuff like that. You can randomize the crafting and all that to kind of help you gain those abilities. If you really like an armor piece and you're like, I don't want to part with something, you can kind of roll them and attempt to get what you want back on. And now, 95% of the time, that might not be the case. So always save pieces of armor that have like cool things like treasure sensor, Amrita sensor, enemy sensor, Kodama sensor, and stuff like that. Because as I run through like the main missions of the game, I will put Kodama sensor on just to find out where they're all at, and they'll show up on your radar as like little green dots. But for the most part, like in this first round, unless you get really lucky and get a Kodama sensor like armor or something, you're not going to be able to see them, and unless you really know where they're at. And I don't think any of the DLC items come with Kodama sensor. Let's see, dodge, key, dash. Yeah. There's a likelihood that you do get Kodama sensor at some point from like their accessories or something like that. Just always keep one in stock, because you're gonna want it if you're trying to get all the Kodamas, which is definitely within your best interest to do so. Now, if I don't find every single one of them, you can always replay these levels again. You'll just come back in and you'll be like really high leveled and kind of just smash face, call it a day. And they are not doing good at surviving against me. It's good shit. Yeah, just kind of plan your routes though. Always plan your route. Like if you're about to go back down somewhere that you already explored, just make sure you cleared out the enemies. Because things like this are kind of just annoying. Like I've never liked that, but it is what it is. We got a new item there. That was so imbue your weapon with firepower. So if you want to like, this is your fire paper basically, just put it on. And then your weapon can do some flame damage for a little bit. Obviously, flame damage probably more useful against like humanoid enemies or anything that's ice or something like that. The elements of this game, like it's just like any other JRPG you would think of. Elements play a huge part in like damage rolling and defenses and all that kind of stuff. This guy right here. How do you see him though? Awesome. Here's a Kodama one. So you don't want to like just go and grab it just because you see it instantly. You do want to clear out as much as possible. I do love the bow so much in these games. I will always open up with a bow attack as much as you can. Unless it's like a very big mission and you're just shooting the shit out of things. But if you can help it, sneak up on enemies and fight them, because the bow guys aren't really tough. But when you're coming up on large groups of enemies, and if they're not wearing a helmet or anything, then you really want to take a shot. They'll just help you out. Yeah, there we go. So another sword user, we don't need it. So the way that your attacks are, it does kind of play like a factor into how you hit your enemies. So down there I was like swiping over the top of him because he was pretty much, he was in a low crawl situation. But if you switch your stance to like the low stance, then your chances of hitting an enemy that's like that low below you is much more higher. Now, if you want to kind of plan like if you have downward swings and stuff like that, basically, just kind of always playing the game of like, what's the best way to hit you, and that plays more into the bigger yokai. Like whenever we see that they have like glowing horns and stuff like that, you want to make an effort to hit their horns. Yeah, and if you get like that little, like the black cloud that's coming from their hands, that's basically them performing a grab move on you. Every enemy in this game has a sort of grab move, I guess. Even the regular guys at times will kind of like do like a whole sword poke through you or whatever. So you just want to be very cautious, that's all I'm going to say. So those... Nice. So now we're starting to get a little bit more beefier armors, I guess. Let's see here. Ninjutsu power, awesome. So we already got like a fantastic charm. So our defense versus water, defense versus that. The yokai realms, we'll kind of see that in a little bit. Probability of enemies dropping equipment, so that just keeps on adding to the equipment drop rate that we already have from our Spirit Guardian. And our Ninjutsu power technique. Good. I don't think I saw already Jutsu. I think I messed up. And I didn't put any Jutsu on. So I should be throwing kunais and ninja stars and all that kind of stuff in order to get like ninja points, because basically how that works in Nioh is you get like you get ninja points if you do more ninja type of moves. So if I'm throwing kunai religiously, I'm gonna start racking up points for that. If I'm like shooting flame balls, you know, that from Omnio Magic, I'm gonna get more Omnio Magic. Okay, let's see here. So now we're moving on. But yeah, like I said, you get points for just doing like certain moves and stuff like that. So Omnio Magic and all that. That's the only way to gain those points, is to use items. You can use like items that you find throughout the world, and they kind of add to it. But it's better to make your own and then just use these like nonstop. And just keep on using them over and over again until, you know, you get your required benefit there. Okay, so now we're on key post. Where's the... Okay, so we're gonna want to start saving these after this. I'm going to start saving my samurai skill points now, because I don't really switch into low stance often. See how much I really choose to eat my words on that one, though, but later on in the game. Ah, fucker, dude. He just caught me on that. Nice. So those are kind of what I was talking about there. Those are the samurai locks. So you get 2 samurai skill points for using this, so just pop these. As soon as you get samurai locks, ninja locks, omnio locks, pop them. They just give you free points. And then we can go into our skills. And now we can learn what we need to learn. Um, so the water things, that's not what I want. Parries an enemy attack, throwing them backwards. That's pretty cool though. With a triangle. Oh, nice. Yeah, parry moves are pretty cool. It enables you to use key pulses even when dodging. Yep. Yeah, you want these living water things. That's what you're kind of going for here. Key pulses during your heavy, so yeah. Key pulses while dodging. These are like a staple too. So it'll consume a little bit more ki, but you'll be able to recover like, 75% of what you lost, basically. So it's not like the best thing to do, but in instances where you're really like in shit trouble, it's good to like kind of dodge away and keep a lot of ki instead of just like being completely out and then doing that or something. But the best way to recover your ki is definitely by doing flux. The second best way is by doing regular. And then the third best way is to do a dodge, once you learn how to do that. Then once you kind of master those 3 ways to regain ki, then you'll see your gameplay kind of expand and you'll become better at management and stuff like that. Alright, so that guy was talking about using a bow. So this is like your bow tutorial. Kind of pop dude in the head. Got another guy down there. Pop dude in the head. Kind of check your surroundings before you drop down, because you don't want to just drop into nothingness. Drop there. Drop here. I think there's a Kodama. No. Okay. Not meant to be, huh? Saw me. Oh. And I mean, you get all sorts of points. You can do like this little compare and contrast thing. So let's see. My current one gives me damage, so this one's better because it just does more damage. You're just doing that. Even though like we lose like that damage against yokai, it's still more worth getting a higher damaging weapon for base stats alone. Now you do want to touch every single shrine or like every level, just because they give you like extra Amrita just for kind of running into it. But you also reset the enemies, and I don't want to reset everything here because we're doing pretty good right now, and that just be a waste. Tap any rocks that you see from wells, and they'll kind of drop more items. This guy right here, he wants to get slapped up. Dang, his head went flying, huh? Okay, we'll pop that door. I think these are like dev created ones. I'm not really sure if they're like actual people. Like there, you'll know when it's actual people because they'll have like ridiculous names. But this is like an actual Japanese authentic name, so they could be dev related. I'm not really sure. I fought him before though. He's kind of rough right now. Eventually, you'll learn like what every weapon's like strong and weak against, and then you'll kind of utilize it to its own strengths from there. So now we're gonna go ahead and have our first instance of yokai. That one little tutorial thing down there was telling us to dispel a yokai realm, which is going to be like a little circular pool that they leave underneath them. It kind of makes them stronger inside of it and makes you weaker, as in terms of your ki will not be able to recover as quick, so you want to dispel them real quickly by doing a ki pulse within the circle or on the outer edge, so like that. So dispel it, there you go. Okay, he's gonna try to scare you. Nice. And once you start getting a little bit more comfortable with learning, oh, see, I like this. What is this? Hold on. Lightning damage weapon. Increases lightning element from your weapon. So I don't think that means this becomes an electrical weapon. I think that just means increases lightning element. Yeah, so if you were to apply lightning to this weapon specifically, then it will increase that lightning damage by 41.9%. So there are like, I think the term is imbued. So if you see imbued fire, imbued water, imbued lightning, then that means that that weapon is specifically imbued with that element for good. So that is a huge Kusarigama upgrade right there. So now our Kusarigama is going to be slapping everything around. Then I can go ahead and pop this door right here. We'll pop through down. Alright, so the shitty part here is that we have to run all the way around again. Run up to Nioh. Take this route back down. So you kind of just pick and choose when you want to like rest at these shrines, but like if you look down at the bottom there, I'll get like a little bit of Amrita just for discovering a new shrine. And I mean, that was like a whole 1,000, so they are worth kind of utilizing. Okay, so I didn't ready my jutsu correctly. So you want to go into here. This is how you ready your stuff. I guess you can only pick between a couple of them, huh? So shurikens cost less because you have, obviously, they do less damage, but you get more of them. So this is better for trying to gain those ninja points as quickly as possible. Ninjutsu capacity. I don't really know what. I'm gonna have to figure out how ninjutsu capacity really works because. We'll put it on the right. So I found a little bit more Kodama, so now I want to change my other. Now I want to heal. Get the healer one. It's on 4 out of 9 dudes. I go ahead and level up. Okay, so we're gonna go with Dex. Spirit, so we can get more bonuses there. Determines the effect and capacity of your ninjutsu. Oh, there we go. That's how you. Ninjutsu capacity. Yep. All right. So Dex is up there. Hit OK. Level up. Now we go back to Ready Jutsu. Nice. And now I can have both kunai and that. So kunais will get put in that slot. There we go. Amazing. So now, whenever you use these, though, so we'll just kind of, let's poke on this guy real quick because he should be back. Oh, there you go. So as you will run out of them, but if you go back to a shrine, because they're in your jutsu slot, you'll actually regain them. There are going to be items through the world, though, that will allow you to gain those back as well. I think they're called shinobi boxes. I've never used them because I've never done a run like that before. We'll ignore that guy. We've done down here. Literally, he didn't want to be ignored. We'll just jack him up. Now we can run out here. Good. Okay, so this part is a little bit longer because you have to, like, kind of crawl across these buildings and do all sorts of weird shit. So the first mission in Nioh is actually a pretty long one, to be honest. There's a lot of things to do in here. You know, you got all sorts of ambushes that can happen. You got corners you gotta check. You see this guy, he's gonna throw shit at me, okay. Yeah, you just really want to be self-aware of where you're, like, heading, and then you'll have to rerun this entire zone again just to get, like, the missing stuff, which is going to be crawling across the rooftops. And you can already see there's, like, a Kodama dude right there. What else? So that path's going to lead over there, so we don't want to worry about that now. I'm crawling this way. I'm getting a lot of good little things there. Kind of like it. Cool. Alright, well, I think I'm going to conclude it right now. This is like the halfway point for this mission. Nioh game is going to be, this is going to be a long-standing series. I mean, this could very well take me over like 70, 80 parts to probably complete total, depending on how we kind of go about it. Never played the DLCs in this game, so I'm really interested in doing that too. So hopefully I can carry on with Kusarigami the whole way. If not, then I know I can at least rely on swords. Kisarigama, though, has so far been very simple to use. And I think it's probably going to be one of my more favorite weapons to use in general. Because, like I said, I know how to use a sword and the spear. That's pretty much how I got through the games the first time around. So we're trying to make it all the way to that boat right there. We have a big boss battle to go through, but we have an entire city to kind of cover and go through. So anyway, well, thanks for watching. That'll be it for Nioh, and we'll come back with more.